And right now, joining us, very great pleasure to have with us today a man who is knows about his topic, and he's putting together a book called Woodworking FAQ, the Workshop Companion, How to Build Your Skills and Know-How for Making Great Projects. We're joined by Spike Carlsen today. And, of course, he's written articles in several publications, including Old House Journal, Fine Home Building, and American Woodworker. And he joined us on the phone. And, Spike, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Pleasure to be chatting with you, Doug.
Yeah, good to have a chance to talk to you. I have to admit, though, I know almost next to nothing about woodworking, so I enjoyed reading through it. I may not understand it all, but it's a good idea for people like me, right?
Well, you're not alone in that. Woodworking skills used to be handed down, from grandparent to parent to child, and that's kind of been happening less and less these days. And if not that, it usually was at least handed down from, shop teacher and industrial arts teacher to student. And as that happens less and less, we found that a book like Woodworking FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions, was something that was needed out there.
Yeah, I did, in high school, we did have a wood shop class, and I enjoyed it. I just don't think I had the innate talent. I could do okay. My father was good at it, and his father was a carpenter, so they had the skill. I didn't have the talent, but I did enjoy it. I guess it's something, if you don't have the innate talent, you can't learn it, though, right? I mean, it's not something that you can't learn, right?
Yeah, mankind has used wood for, since they had tools, and they've used it for building ships and building bowls and building Stradivari violins, and so it's something that's been near and dear to all of us throughout history. I think it's kind of in our DNA, and, some people like you, I think that everyone's a woodworker at heart. It's just some get a little lost along the way. And so Woodworking FAQ is an attempt to point people back in that direction.
Are we seeing in your research, Spike, more people getting back to, I guess, with stores like Home Depot, they always seem to be packed with people doing their own projects. I guess it is on the rise, right?
Yeah, there's about 15 million people in America who call themselves woodworkers. And, woodworker, sometimes people keep a pretty limited, definition of it. It's just guys or gals who make furniture or cabinets. But, anyone who does, like picture frames or puts shelves up in the closet or builds bookcases, if you're doing that, you're already a woodworker. And Woodworking FAQ kind of is an attempt to take people by the hand, bring them to the next level, make them feel comfortable with the tools and processes, and get them into the great world of woodworking. It's a great hobby.
Yeah, good point there. You don't have to, right away with your first project, try and build a rocking chair, right? I mean, put a shelf up. That's easier to start with, right?
Exactly. I mean, you don't need a lot of fancy tools. If you invest about maybe $30 in a jigsaw, $30 in a cordless drill, and, maybe $30 in some basic hand tools, there are hundreds and hundreds of projects people can build. And the thing people really love about it is in this day and age, a lot of people put in a day's work, and when they turn around, the only thing they have to show is, a couple more files on their computer. But with woodworking, at the end of the day or at the end of your weekend, you turn around, there's something you've built, you kind of got a brag factor to it, and people feel good about it. So it's not just, building things, it's building a sense of pride and building confidence as you go.
There's a sense of purity in woodworking. Obviously, there's electric tools you can use, but for the most part, you're doing it by hand, right?
Yeah. Some people are comfortable with, big whirling machines, and other people like to just use hand tools. And that's there's a whole field of woodworking where people just like to use the old hand saws and the chisels and the planes. And again, it's doesn't have to be noisy. It's just kind of a nice, soothing pastime. And actually, women are one of the fastest growing segments in the woodworking world. And retired guys is another big segment. And then people just setting up home for the first time, whether it's for economic needs or again, pride. A lot of those folks are getting into building their own furniture to furnish their new places.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, that's a good point you brought up about women. You tend to think of any kind of shop work as particularly men being more interested in it, but as you said, more women are getting into it now, woodworking?
Absolutely. It spans all ages and all genders. Last night I did a presentation on the book, and I built a bench in front of everyone with my 4-year-old granddaughter. And I would say half the people in attendance were women, and I have met some fabulous female woodworkers, and there's no reason for anyone to back off from woodworking.
Talk a little bit, in case we have listeners, obviously they may be seasoned woodworkers and others may have not done much. What would you recommend as far as an initial tool set that you would need to do something?
Yeah, I mean, a cordless drill, even if you're don't build furniture or do woodworking, you can use it for hanging pictures and for making repairs and that type of thing. And so, a good cordless drill is a great thing. A hammer, the basic tape measure. The thing about woodworking is a lot of people think you need a shop and that type of thing. And really, if you've got, a couple sawhorses and you can throw an old door across it, you have a workbench, and, at night you can just take it apart and put your car back in the garage. But, really what we try to do in Woodworking FAQ is to be kind of that friendly voice and walk people through the process. We start out with issues on safety, and then hand tools, and then power tools, and then, we get into the cabinet making, and picture framing is a huge interested area in woodworking, because everyone has stuff laying around they want framed, and it's a pretty basic project. So we cover that in the book also.
Is that the most popular project, the cabinets?
Yeah, picture framing is a hugely popular area. Mm-hmm. Cabinets are big. Whether you install them, buy them at a home center and install them, that's still woodworking. And then storage. The adage storage is what people want. And there's so many bookshelves and cabinets and bookends and types of things like that you can make as a woodworker that really helps simplify your storage problems, and again gives you that confidence of having built something with your own two hands.
I like how you lay it out. It's literally a Q&A format, which I think makes it easier for people that don't have a lot of background in the topic of woodworking. They have a question in their mind, and probably most of them, if not all of them, are going to be writing this book. So I like how you lay it out.
Yeah. I mean, that is how people approach it. It's like, how do I do this? How do I apply a finish? How far down do I have to sand this piece of wood so it looks good? And the book is very well indexed. It's got a great TOC. It has about 150 illustrations. It has charts and little bits of trivia. And so it's a very user-friendly book. And we hope some of your listeners will pick it up and learn from it.
Keep it in your woodworking shop. That's that type of book. I mean, it's not when you read through and put it away. It's a referral book. I think it's a good idea.
It's got a great lay flat binding, so you can lay it down on your work surface and it'll stay open to that page. And there's probably around 350 questions and answers in there. A lot of them geared towards beginners, and so if you have a question about woodworking, it's probably answered in there. And if not, it has a great resources section in the back that'll direct people to where you can get those answers.
Great. The name of the book, again, is Woodworking FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions, the workshop companion. We've been talking today with Spike Carlsen. And Spike, give out a website, people get a hold of the book, or maybe get a hold of you if they like.
Yeah, the book is available, through Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and, I always like to promote the independent booksellers. And I have a website at Spike Carlsen, and that's SpikeCarlsen.com, and that can direct people to other places to buy the book. And it has a lot of great pictures and excerpts from some other books I've done, so people should feel free to browse that too.
Great, and as we're taping today, it is April. I understand April is National Woodworking Month, so it all ties in. Right?
It's also the Arbor Day in most states too. So
that's right.
It's a pretty woody month here.
Very good, Spike. Pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time today. I know our audience here on the program are going to be interested, and hopefully we'll talk to you again down the road.
It's been a pleasure, Doug. Thank you so much.
Great.